could just piss the bed.
Dude,
Absolutely.
astronauts
I wish
do that shit. That's why people become astronauts.
They get diped up.
Yeah. Well, then they got a vacuum that connects to your dick and it just sucks all the piss out of you.
So you don't have to get out of bed. They got that's the fucking life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that ruins a nice fucking
How
sleep.
do astronauts sleep? They just float?
No, they got
They
like
get strapped
sleeping
down.
bags like Velcro to the walls.
And they put a headband on or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Apparently
astronauts ever fuck in space?
It fucks up your vision too. Because
Really?
our eyeballs, like the intraocular fluid, was we evolved to have a certain like specific pressure inside your eye.
Right.
You spend like a year in space and you come back and your vision's all fucked up.
Really?
The lack of gravity will fuck up your eyeballs. Yeah.
Damn, but you get your dick sucked by sexy Mars bitches, green bitches, dude. With
Well,
big
that's why
titties.
they have 3 tits because the gravity's different.
yeah.
If women on Earth only have 2 tits because if they had 3, it would break their spines.
Are you basing that on that Arnold movie? What's it
Total
called?
Recall?
Total Recall. 3 titties.
I haven't seen that either.
That's one
That's
of
on the list. I saw a ton of movies.
You've never
though.
seen Total Recall?
I got a list of movies I must
Philip K.
watch.
G, dude. Philip
You know
K.
what I watched that I did not like is Indiana Jones,
Which one?
the first one.
It's I mean
Shit
they're
sucked.
for kids.
I haven't watched them since I was a kid, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, I was like, these are all right.
Yeah, that shit sucked, dude.
Yeah.
And I didn't even understand what the fuck was going on. Like, he had like some lady that he fucked when she was a child or something like that. She was like, I was a child. He's like, you knew what you were doing.
Wait, are you talking about the Crystal Skull?
No, the first
Oh,
one.
the first one.
She had like his mentor's daughter he fucked when she was young, and then he just steals artifacts from poor ass countries.
Yeah,
like
brings
that's
them
the
to the
hero.
museum.
I love
He's
that,
just-
dude.
He's stealing shit from poor countries
Yeah.
that have no other natural resources.
Well, the Nazis would take it otherwise. He's preventing the Nazis from getting...
I guess, but he could have, helped them out or something.
Yeah, the Nazis could do magic with it and make.
Yeah,
a
why did the
bomb or
Nazis know
something.
magic and shit?
Yeah,
And there's like a snitch ass
Well, that was
monkey.
real, dude. I mean, like, that's what's so funny about the Nazis is that, like, some of the, like, Himmler, like, guys that were behind the Holocaust were also really into the occult.
Occult, yeah, that's
So it's
yeah.
so funny to me that there's, like, there were guys that were like, look, it's a fucking zero-sum game. These people are a problem. We have to exterminate all of them. We're going to plan all these death camps and kill them. And it's, like, very, cold, calculating guys are also like, but what if Santa is real and we can find him with symbols?
That shit is funny though. You got to give it to the Nazis in terms of them being just so evil.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we're also into the devil too.
Right,
That's
yeah.
how fucking evil we are.
Yeah.
Like, not only do we want to kill Jews, but we want to do it for the Dark Lord. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit
yeah.
is. I mean, it's crazy how evil. I was watching like some fucking. I mean, we talked about how cool and shit they look, but they look like villains. And then also all that shit Mussolini had. That motherfucker had some weird, like fucking artwork, dude, that looked evil. Like those guys really leaned into being evil.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, Patton,
That big-ass
Patton
face.
was a weird guy
Yeah.
too. He thought he was reincarnated from like like Hannibal or fucking
Really?
Yeah.
Was he was good as hell at war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like he'd drive his men real hard, right?
Yeah, he made like a bunch of people die.
He was like
And
a
then
Dr. House. They
he
were
wanted
like,
to-
you got
he
too
was
far
House.
this time. He's like, I know what I'm fucking doing.
He wanted to
Don't
invade.
tell me what to do.
He wanted to invade Russia immediately after the war.
Oh yeah.
After Germany surrendered, he's like, we need to invade Russia right now. He's like, we need to kill all the Russians.
Who's the dude with Korea that
He was
wanted to go north of the parallel? MacArthur?
No, Alan Alda.
It was Alan
Yeah.
Alda.
Yeah.
No, it was the guy in the dress.
Yeah,
Klinger.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Who I love that like
He's trans.
He's not trans, but he was like dressing like a woman so that they would send him home for being crazy. That's the plot. That's why he dresses like
It makes
that.
sense
And then, he
based on
just,
the
and
time.
then he just continued dressing like that.
Yeah, so he literally was trans probably. That was just his way of being in. He's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get sent home."
It was a double sneak.
Yeah, it was a double sneak, dude.
I've
And then
never
they didn't send him
actually
home.
watched the show, but I recently watched the movie MASH, the Robert Altman movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny.
I'll watch it.
That's my take.
That's
The
going on
show's
the
pretty
list of
good.
shows I need
Yeah.
to.
You know what I
or
loved is
movies I
that,
need to
that
watch.
Futurama episode with the robot MASH? Where they had like
remember that
that. Yeah, there was some MASH reference with robots or whatever. I'm trying to. Well, if you haven't seen it,
There was
It's
one.
good. Watch that. I should rewatch Futurama, man. That was a good
Futurama was
show.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
wanted
for
to fuck
smart guys
Layla.
who know stuff about math. You know?
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
As a mathematician myself, mathematician just means somebody that does math, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And I do math. You know,
I guess that's
I need
true.
to add numbers together sometimes.
Split a check.
So I could technically call myself a
I
mathematician.
think we're all mathematicians.
Yeah.
Anytime you Venmo anyone anything, that's sort of math.
That's mathematics.
Yeah.
No, I mean I have to add numbers together a lot, dude. I had to take measurements for the window in my room.
Yeah,
To buy-
it's true.
Nah, if you're doing real work though,
curtains?
if you're doing math to do hard work, labor, then you're just a dumbass laborer.
yeah,
dude.
then you're Guatemalan.
But if you're just
It's
in-
not work. I'm not getting paid for that shit.
But if you're but you're doing like with your hand shit.
that's just.
But if you're just
trabajo, dude.
sitting like a little bitch with a notebook doing math,
I mean, my friend Jordan used to do this.
then you're a
like,
mathematician.
This bro character all the time, like this bro character
Mhm.
Scotty or whatever, and like we used to just like Scotty hitting on girls or whatever. And one of the things like we would say is like, yeah, I mean, sometimes I just like sit around and do like fucking crazy hard math problems. Like, what's like 1,000,000 times 10,000 and shit like that. Dude. It's like the square root of like 567. I mean, I've been working on that one a while, but yeah. So I'm not just all about the muscles. I guess is what I'm saying. Just all those guys I used to watch. I used to watch Change of Heart and Blind Date all the time.
Hell
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, me
dude.
too.
Fucking, I love those
Blind Date
shows
was that
'cause
shit.
It was always like
The game was on Change of Heart.
some dickhead that looked
Really?
like a fucking Adam's apple with just platinum blonde spikes above it. And be like, yeah, my name's Chaz. I'm 27 years old. And basically, I think my strongest strengths is I have like a really great sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I'm like a fun guy, or whatever. And then it was always the same thing. It was like, my name's Brian. I'm 26 years old. I'm working in retail currently while I try to pursue a career in retail management. And my strong suits are that I got a really great sense of humor. And it was always that they had a great sense of humor, and then I would watch these people go on terrible dates to like a sushi place. I remember there's one, they go get sushi and then they went to a place where they get like latex body paint done.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. There's always a weird one.
Yeah.
There was like go to a fucking do like pottery or like fucking hot air balloon or some shit like that.
Right, which nobody ever does on a normal fucking date.
No.
You'd go do something boring, because if you're like that much of a fucking dumb, obnoxious person that like you can't just go to dinner with somebody
Yeah.
and be interesting, that you're like, yeah, we need to go on a hot air balloon.
We got to
ride.
do an
Yeah,
course.
That's what that show is. It would find
Absolutely. There was one guy I remember, it stuck with me. It was just like a nice woman and some guy who was like just drunk and talking about how little his dick was. And then he just like
Are you sure this wasn't a fever dream?
yeah, it was like this is actually was my first date ever.
You like wake up, you're like, oh, I had another wet dream.
Yeah.
No, this is like, no, it's your turn. No, it's your
Your turn to be the
dumb
girl.
one. Your turn to be the girl. I wasn't even going that
We
direction.
were
What's
going
the
on
deal
dates together.
On those shows, what was the deal with the jacuzzi, right? That's like still
Did you see
a
that
thing on The
video?
Bachelor.
Jacuzzi was big. Sorry to interject this, but back on the your turn to be the girl thing, I was laughing with a friend of mine one time. It's like two guys, like, they're like, we should practice making out. So like when we do it with girls, we'll be better at it. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like, but we can't kiss each other. That's gay. And they're like, right. If we use each other's assholes, though, we're not kissing each other.
I always joke about with like close friends, like with Eldest or Ben or whoever the fuck, George. Like we're like, it's like a shame that we are not sexually attracted to each other. So like, what I want to do is we'll get two hookers that blow us while under like a table or something, while we like hold hands and look in each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Like that seems like the closest way to sex with your straight bros.
That
you
would
know?
fix it.
Yeah.
I love that people are like, man, it sucks that I'm not gay because I could just marry my best friend and it would be perfect. And it's like, no, you'd probably just grow to hate them.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just not in
You
a
would-
relationship with your friends.
Exactly. You would introduce sex into the equation,
Right,
would fuck
yeah.
everything up, and you would resent them
Yeah.
in like, a couple years tops.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you'd get sad about how awesome it used to be to hang out, and you can't even have them in your life anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you'd find a shittier version of them
Yeah.
who maybe lets you be doesn't hold you as accountable for your problems and live a bad life.
Well, that's the thing is everybody gets older and they just don't have standards anymore.
Right. That's what I'm banking on, baby.
Right.
Let's hit that 30, dude.
Like imagine like dating in your 60s, which people are doing now, and it's like just die.
Yeah, Nick Griffin has that awesome joke where he's like dating in your 40s. It's like every date should start with, "So, what did you want to be?" It's like that shit is fucking. He has some of the best material on dating when you're fucking older. He's funny as shit.
Nick Griffin, dating when you're older. Check him out. Yeah, you can find his dating when you're older material.
Literally, do check Nick.
Who's
Mullen
Nick?
is being a dick, but
I'm not being
Nick
a dick.
Griffin is hilarious.
Who is he?
You don't know Nick Griffin?
No.
Oh, dude, that guy's
Is he
funny as
Eddie
shit.
Griffin's
He's Andy Griffin's son.
son?
He's Eddie Griffin's son.
Yeah.
He's a small black
He's
child.
Andy Griffin's son, who's just some guy.
Yeah.
That's just some guy who's probably a banker in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. No, Eddie Griffin's son.
Yeah.
Eddie Griffin.
Yeah. No, but Nick Griffin's funny shit. I'm surprised you guys don't know him. He did like 20 Lettermans or some crazy shit.
I've heard the name
no
before.
shit.
I remember somebody was like praising him once, but I've never met him.
He's such a good comic. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got some of the best bits. But anyway, yeah,
Let's
I hope
do his bit. I don't know who he is, so we can just do his bit.
just steals. I did. I
play his
literally
CD.
did do
Let's
that.
just
That's how
do his
this
bits on the
started.
show, dude. I want to have a podcast. I think it probably exists already, where you're just like, okay, today we're gonna remember this episode of The Simpsons and just say all the jokes from it.
I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I used to wish that I could just do that as stand up. Like, you guys remember that Simpsons
Dude,
episode?
do you know that guy T-Rex?
Yeah.
I remember one time he literally was doing that with Family Guy at Magoobies. He was just like on stage, not even a podcast. He's like 10 minutes left in a headlining set. He's just talking about a funny ass episode of Family Guy he saw. I'm like doing his Stewie voice. It was so fucking awesome.
Oh man, that shit fucking rules.
It was awesome. I was like, God,
Dude,
respect.
stand up is awesome. The fucking worst format for comedy.
And it's killing harder than any of his bits. It was awesome, dude. Maybe we should start doing that.
Do you hear? I mean, that's become like a thing. Like, do you hear this thing Trump said? Right?
Oh yeah. Well, that's a big problem. No, seriously though, people do this a lot where it's like a homeless guy says something funny, or they read a funny
terrible.
porn, or they read a funny porn comment.
Yeah.
And then they just say it, and it gets a laugh, and then they add nothing to it, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's not a bit.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's fucking like, that's not your bit. You did not write that awesome burn that some gay guy in line behind you said to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
speaking of a great burn, now I'm going to do that on this podcast. 'Cause it's not.
That's
one of,
fine.
One of,
Stand
one, of,
podcast.
one of the funniest things I've heard in the last year on stage is DC Benny. He's talking about, I love living in Brooklyn, because like you hear... He's like, you just hear the craziest shit in Brooklyn. He's like, look, I was hanging out. I feel bad doing his bit, but then the bit's about a thing he heard. So
Right.
But he's like, yeah, I just heard outside my apartment the other day, a guy go, man, you know what the real N-word is? Psh, knowledge. I was like laughing for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I just remember it throughout the day.
Yeah.